Welcome to Wise Beyond Bitcoin, where you come for your crypto neo, your news, education, and opportunity. My name is Jacob, and I'll be your host today. Today, I've got some fun ones. We've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this to come in. We've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it. At least I've been excited for it. But before we get into it, let's just get a quick disclaimer out of the way. None of this is advice of any kind, financial, educational, medical. No advice is given here. We share the news, education, and opportunities that we take with ourselves, and it's up to you to do your own research. Now, before we actually get started and dive right in, I kind of want to cover a quote on Twitter that really encapsulates this crypto space. And in my opinion, the vision of the project that we're going to be talking about. And we've talked about this project in the past. Before we get into it, I just want to emphasize, don't chase fame. Don't chase popularity. Don't chase money. Focus on your impact. And the more impact you create for others, clients, friends, family, whoever it is, the more successful you'll become. That's the metric that matters. This is actually reposted by a friend of mine, Mango, who I just really like what Chris has to say here. And I'm really glad that Mango reposted that. That really emphasizes the deeper network. Now, we've talked about deeper network before. We've expressed, at least I've expressed how I feel about the deeper network. But today we're going to dive a little deeper on deeper. Now, sure, we could go over some of the price action. We've talked about how much deeper that you might need to stake on chain. But really quickly, if you don't know what deeper network is, deeper network combines blockchain with network security in a sharing economy to create a global peer-to-peer network that empowers real users of the internet and paves the next generation of the web and for Web3 and web privacy. So what does all that mean? Well, if you've ever used a VPN before, deeper network is essentially a decentralized VPN. So every deeper network device acts as both a server and a client. And so as you see on the little diagram here, each device communicates to the other. And what it does is it actually masks your IP address. So you could turn on the features to turn on the VPN features, and you'll see that you can share your bandwidth to be able to preserve your privacy and add value to the network. And by sharing your bandwidth, you can actually earn their cryptocurrency DPR. Right now it's at 10 cents a token, so it's pretty low, but in my opinion, this is definitely one to look out for. Internet security is massive. And if you watched our video previously on Jackal DAO, you'll know that they're both extremely savvy when it comes to not just the crypto space, but also internet security. And so the great people over at Jackal DAO, amazing. Honestly, I'm excited to be able to talk more about Jackal DAO, but today isn't that video, so I'll go ahead and put that on the shelf. But to understand the value proposition, understand that web security is a problem. And it's not a problem for just you, me, and generalized users. It's a problem for everyone. There's all kinds of different attacks that can happen. And as we talked about on a previous episode, it is possible to be able to get someone's IP address simply from knowing their wallet address. So if you knew someone's wallet address and you were a malicious actor, you could actually mint an NFT and send it directly to their address to be able to get their IP address. And then from there, you compromise their physical security, which is terrible. And what deeper network allows for is it's a 7-layer firewall that covers all layers of the internet. So if we talk about the 7 layers of the internet, OSI model, pull that up just to get an understanding of the different layers of the internet and how things can be exploited. You have the application layer, which is the human computer layer, the layer that we interact with, the presentation layer, which ensures that data is usable and formatted correctly, the session layer, which maintains connections and is responsible for controlling ports and understanding that if you have an open port, it's kind of like having a house with an open window. If a burglar sees that there's an open window, they're just going to go through the open window. Why would they go through the front door? The transport layer, which transmits data using transmission protocols such as TCP and UDP. The network layer, which decides the physical path that the data will take. The data link layer, which defines the format of the data on the network. And the physical layer, which transmits raw bit stream over the physical medium. And so to understand the 7 layers of the OSI model is somewhat important, especially when you want to get into network security and when we're talking about network security. Now, I happen to have with me today the Pico and the antenna. So this here is the antenna, and this here is the Pico. And I've been waiting for this to come in to be able to do an unboxing video and talk a little bit more about deeper. So I'm really, really excited to be able to talk about this today with you guys. It's going to be great. Something else I just like to touch on is they do have other products depending on your use case. I personally have both a Mini and now a Pico. And if you wanted to pick up a Pico, you could actually do it right now from Indiegogo, which honestly is going to be the best place to pick one up right now since it's 40% off. I personally am thinking about getting another Wi-Fi adapter just so I have an extra one for my Mini, because what's interesting about both of these devices is with the Wi-Fi adapter, you can actually use it in what's called a relay mode. So you can have a 7-layer enterprise grade firewall, essentially, and it could work portably. So what you can do, you can use it either in virtual wire mode, where it's plugged in between a router and a modem. This is the way I've hooked up my Mini. You can have a router modem combo, which I think this would be interesting to try with the Mini, is having a second network. So you can have your guests connect to your regular Wi-Fi, and you can have all of your crypto transactions and crypto interfaces being done on your second internet network that's being done through the deeper network. Or let's say you're going out to public. You like going to coffee shops, you like going and traveling. Well, you can actually use the Pico in a wireless relay mode. And that's the amazing thing to me, is the Pico packs all of the enterprise grade all of the enterprise grade security into a tiny little device that's portable, that you can take with you. It's a VPN that you can take with you physically, and it mines crypto. And I just think that's amazing. And so to talk a little bit about what you'll need to do if you want to mine, you'll need to actually stake the deeper network tokens. So you'll need to stake a minimum of 1,000 tokens on the deeper chain, which is $100. So you're adding $102 to the price tag of, let's say, the Pico or the Mini or whatever device that you wanted to pick up. I personally have both, but if you're going to mine crypto with this device, I would recommend the Mini over the Pico, specifically because of the download speeds and the upload speeds that are possible with those devices. Now, the Pico has a throughput, if I remember correctly, of, I believe it was 250 gigs download or 500 gigs download. I could be mixing it up with the Nano, which I know the Nano should be somewhere around 500. However, the Mini, that bigger one right there, that one can output a gig per second, which is massive. Most people don't even use a gigabyte per second. I know streamers who don't even use a gigabyte per second download speed. It's insane to me. But that's if you care about the longevity of using these networking devices or the portability. Ultimately, it's your choice to purchase whatever you're going to purchase. I picked up both because I like the convenience of both. Now, if you were going to stake on the Deeper Network chain, you can stake either on the Ethereum mainnet or on the Binance Smart Chain. And you can actually pick up Deeper Network on several different exchanges. I just scroll down here. KuCoin is the one that I use personally, but you can use PancakeSwap and have it directly on the Binance Smart Chain where there's cheaper gas fees. You can do it through Gate.io, or you can do it natively on the Ethereum mainnet. I actually staked on the Ethereum mainnet before they had launched staking on the Binance Smart Chain. So I feel that a little bit, but it is what it is. It's all said and done. And understand, once you've staked your tokens, they are locked up for a 9-month period. So whatever you decide to do, you are permanently, quote unquote, time locking them for 9 months. So if I was to stake 1,000 just to have a credit score of 0, and I would have to organically grow my credit score over time by sharing bandwidth, then it's going to take some time before I start mining tokens. All it's going to do is increase my credit score until my credit score reaches 100. And at that point, I will be mining 2.74 tokens per day. And if you want to, you can decide to stake more. I personally staked 5,000 tokens, which $511. For me, what that means is that I can start mining 2.74 right away while also earning an organic credit score. So if you think about it like this, your credit score can grow 1 point every 2 days. So in a year, your credit score should shoot up 1 credit tier. If that's the case, and if I keep my 5,000 staked, then what I can do is I can have that 5,000 in my organic credit score. And if I buy another 5,000, I can skip right over from 10,000 to 20,000 because I will have already had 10,000 tokens and an organic credit score plus 100. So instead of having a 200 credit score and earning 8.2, I'll be earning 19.18, which if we show here, $1 a day. Doesn't sound like a lot, but understand token prices, they fluctuate. I personally believe in Deeper, and so I'm in it for the long haul. I'm trying to get up to that 800 credit score someday, but that's just my personal opinion. Now here we can actually take a look at my balance and see the dashboard that you'll be interacting when you use this device. And this dashboard is called the Atom OS. This is their operating system that they actually created, which I think it's insane to create an operating system from the ground up for this physical VPN device. And I think it's really interesting. Now, I just want to note that I did make a couple mistakes When I first started mining, so I was mining for a long time, but I didn't have my sharing configuration the way I wish I would have had it. So I've been mining for a while, but you'll notice that my credit score is only 113. Why is that? I should have a lot more if I've been mining, and I have 304 tokens and I'm only earning a little over 2 a day. Well, what ended up happening was I had messed up, because if we go to the sharing configurator or sharing config, I had sharing enabled, but I didn't realize that this was a monthly sharing traffic limit. I know, I didn't read. So I had it set at 2 gigabytes per month, which was just not feasible with the amount of traffic that I personally see. So if you go to the sharing traffic, you can actually see how many gigabytes you're sharing with other people with that upstream bandwidth per day. You can see on some days I'm sharing as much as 4 gigs, others I'm sharing as much as 2. My monthly limit was set at 2, so instead of earning a credit score, I would earn a credit score for a day and then lose that credit score because I stopped sharing upstream bandwidth. So it is important to understand the sharing configuration. It's important to enable it and set a monthly limit that makes sense for you. For me, I will share a lot because I just don't care. And you can actually limit your sharing bandwidth as well on how many megabytes per second you're sharing, which I've set it at 20 megabytes per second to make it harder to reach that 100 gigabyte cap. I've also turned off BitTorrent sharing because I don't want people using my upstream bandwidth to torrent things and then have my IP address or my internet service provider rather go ahead and call me up and say, hey, look, we see that you're torrenting things and we don't like that. So I have that disabled because of the country that I live in here in the US. I just don't even want to touch torrenting at all. Now, something else you can do if you ever wanted to check your credit, if we go here, you can see that my credit is 113, but sometimes this doesn't always update as quickly as their blockchain explorer. So if you go to apps.deeper.network, what you can do is come over here to developers. You can click chain state. You can go over here and click on this scroll down wheel here. You'll find credit and click that. And then you can go to here and you're looking for the user credit tab. I don't look at everything on the left-hand side because I find that the extra characters and user credit account 32 option palette, like that's going to confuse people. Just look on the right-hand side and it's a bit easier. You could see user credit here, and then you just click this little positive button and it'll actually show you your credit score, your initial credit level, and how many reward eras that you've had. So I've had 270 reward eras, which means I've earned that much DPR. Well, not that much DPR, but that's how many times I've earned 2.74 DPR. It's pretty interesting, and understand that this is a Polkadot project. So one of the cool things about this is you can actually see here that it is a part of Polkadot and it's a para-thread rather than a para-chain. So it's something that I think is really slept on in the Polkadot ecosystem. Now, let's get to the fun stuff. I've been waiting to do this. Let's go ahead and open this here. Cut that. And let's take a look at this antenna. Nice. This thing is actually pretty small. It's about the size of my finger, if you see here. And let me go ahead and do this. I've also got the Pico here. You could go ahead and see that. So you take off this little cap here, and you would go ahead and plug this in to either one of these ends here. And once it's plugged in, that's the device. All you have to do is just this little USB-C port, just connect it to your device. And understand that this Pico is, in total, lengthwise, not very big at all. This is something that I could throw in my bag and connect up to a laptop. This is honestly an awesome little device that really gives you portability and function. It's something that I have been so excited for. I can't wait to go out places and feel comfortable about doing things with my crypto content. Not saying that I'm going to go out to a coffee shop and have start interacting with seed phrases while people can see, but it is something that's nice when, let's say, you are at a friend's house, or let's say you're traveling and you want to make some trades, but you don't trust the internet that you're connected to. Well, now you have a trustless system here that allows you to be able to do those things in a safe way. I could interact with other blockchains, let's say make a trade on, I don't know, osmosis, and not have all of my information be public knowledge, at least on the internet aspect side. On the blockchain side, it is what it is. If you're not on secret network, it's not private. It's an open public ledger. That being said, I do want to get into something a little particular since we're on the topic of secret network. This article, which you'll know because if you've watched our previous video, you'll know where this is from. This here is talked about the critical privacy vulnerability exposed by MetaMask. This is what we talked about earlier in the video. People can use a wallet address and an NFT for as little as 50 bucks. They can basically buy your IP address by sending you a NFT. And what that does is it compromises your security. And with the deeper network device, it really solves that problem. Now, I personally would like Deeper to take a step further, which is what this post is about and why I'm bringing attention to it. I think that the Deeper network should be able to bring staking over to the secret network, not just on ETH mainnet, not just on Binance Smart Chain, but I think staking should be something that you could do across many different blockchains with Deeper network. And I think being able to stake your DPR on the secret network to have a credit score would be an insane value proposal for privacy. Because understanding that, yes, even though your internet data is protected, your blockchain data isn't. And that creates another hole in your security. So understanding that is extremely important. When you're using something like, let's say, Ethereum, right? We'll go ahead and pull that up here. Pull up Etherscan and pull up OpenSea. And then we'll just check out. I want to pull up something hot, something new, right? see here their floor price is way up there, way up there. This owner of this NFT holding for life, yeah, well, now we have his blockchain address or his or her blockchain address. And we can take that, come over here, do a little research, little reconnaissance, right? We can check and see all the different tokens that they have, all the different NFTs. We can even, now that we have their address, we can mint an NFT as a malicious hacker, quote unquote, or a malicious actor, I should say, and send it to them, and then have their IP address where we can do even further research, compromising the security of their internet, compromising the security of their wallet, compromising the security of their safety, really. And understanding that is extremely important. And that's what I personally believe that Secret Network solves by putting privacy first on the blockchain, not having that be something that's an open public ledger, but rather something that you get to share with people that you get to choose, which is why it's called the secret network. It's like a secret. You get to pick and choose who you share that secret with. And so being able to stake on the secret network, in my personal opinion, would be that massive value proposal for, well, deeper network and secret network. And something I just want to mention is that Eric Ma, bless you for responding. I appreciate that you guys are working hard to finish the EVM compatibility. And I just hope that you hear my concerns about bridging over to the secret network for even further security. I think that it's something that can really bring value proposals to the deeper network that a lot of people don't understand yet. And it's that blockchain isn't private. It's an open public ledger. And so when we take a step back and we understand what that means, it means it's just another hole in your security when anyone can just find out your IP address. Or alternatively, if someone was to, let's say, find your deeper network address, well, that's a Polkadot project. Polkadot is an open public ledger. The deeper network tokens are on the deeper chain, but that is ultimately linked to Polkadot. And so I would like to see more privacy options and take it a step further. I understand that deeper networks focus is specifically on security from a hardware device, and they have a massive value proposal, in my opinion, being able to be not only a amazingly cheaper VPN that earns you money. it blows my mind. I've paid for VPNs since I was 17 in high school, learning computer science. I paid for NordVPN. I paid for ExpressVPN. I've used free VPNs. I've used TunnelBear before. And they all, in some way, shape, or form, have to store your data. Having a decentralized network to be able to manage data around solves that problem, but it still doesn't solve the problem of blockchain privacy, which is something that I feel could suffer if deeper network doesn't involve themselves in that. Now, do I think that'll affect their product and their ability to use it? No, absolutely not. I just think that it's always better to be that much more secure. I care about my privacy. And we here at Wise Beyond Bitcoin care about privacy. It's why we're always talking about private protocols or blockchains that are all about privacy. It's why I talk about the OSI model and the 7 layers of the internet, because it's important to understand these to really get a grasp of what it is that's going on. There isn't just phishing attacks where people can make a website look exactly the same as the website you're used to visiting and then get your information. There's also ways for people to do research on you in particular. And it's scary. It's extremely scary. I used to want to be a white hat hacker, and I was taking some classes on it and understanding that it's not just computer science, it's also social engineering. It's as easy as someone calling, pretending to be you to your cell phone carrier, having some information about you, like your name and birthday, and asking for access to your SIM card. There's so many different ways to be exploited, and this is why internet security is huge. And this is why I believe in the deeper network, is because they really do protect all 7 of those layers. They really do protect you in a way that just wasn't feasible for consumers. You used to have to buy Cisco hardware or Ubiquiti hardware to do that same thing, which I'm terrible at spelling Ubiquiti because they are this weird spelling, but if you can see here, let's go to their website. It's not cheap. It's definitely not cheap. First, you have to buy a Dream Machine Pro or the Dream Machine. And then you also have to buy, on top of that, this is just one aspect of it. You have to buy not just the device itself, but also the wireless access points to set off Wi-Fi. Otherwise, you're just going to have everything wired. And it's a hefty price tag when you think $379 on top of $179 for each access point, or it's just a lot. And saying that you want to hook up cameras or you want to hook up this is amazing hardware. If you're a business owner, small business owner who wants value. But Cisco is even more expensive because it's enterprise grade. This device, the deeper network devices, their whole line gives you that in such a tiny package. Like, just to put into perspective, this does what that big server does, protecting your internet. You don't have to configure everything. You don't have to have networking knowledge. You don't have to be a system admin. You can be an everyday user. Plug this into your phone. It's just massive to me. And I think that the value potential of working with secret network and having that blockchain privacy will just explode the value potential of both secret and deeper network. And I think a harmonious relationship between the two could very easily work. I think a harmonious relationship between deeper network, secret, and Jackal DAO would be amazing. I think it could be life-changing and world-changing for privacy. It's why I've been so excited to be able to share this. It's why I've been so excited to be able to do this unboxing video. I'm so glad that you're here to join me. I'm mixing up my words. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for spending time with me. I hope you had a great day. And until the next time, namaste.